All right, you all. So, welcome to another episode of Healthy Chats. And of course, we're highlighting amazing women and men all over the globe talking about healthy things such as your finances, your mental, your emotional, your goals, all of these healthy, positive conversations to provide you resources, to provide you hope, to provide you with the things in your community and things that you can use right at your kitchen table. I do believe we always hear farm to table. I believe the resources, not just your food, belongs at the kitchen table. And so on this morning, on today, we have Miss Pamela Sams. She's a financial advisor. And you all, yes, we're going to talk about your money, okay? Because some of you all have been, I know you've been down. You've been thinking, how am I going to make ends meet? What can I do? Can I really afford to save money? What can I do right at my kitchen table, right with my money, the funds that you have, your bank account? How can you set things up for not just now, but for the future? And so, Miss Pamela, welcome and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule and day to join me. And y'all already know your girl's having a little hot flash over here. So while Miss Pamela introduces herself, I'm gonna go ahead on and pat myself.
Thank you very much. And I welcome the opportunity to really share some nuggets this morning. So, my name is Pamela Sams. I am a financial advisor. I hail from the DMV, District of Columbia, Maryland, Virginia. And I've been really practicing financial wellness for the past 23 years, really focused on financial wellness for women. But like you said, this is a trying time for a lot of people. So I'm happy to be here.
Oh, well, thank you. And so, you all, we're going to hop right on in the conversation. And so, Pamela, you said 23 years, right? And so, growing up, and just give us a snippet of, your backstory as to how did you get in this space? How are you impacting lives in a span of 23 years and now beyond, right, in this financial space?
Yes, so my journey to financial services really started back in 2001. Actually, probably a little bit before that. So I have a MBA in financial management. Thought I was going to go in a whole different direction, investment banking, because that's where the money is in finance. Then I had two kids back to back in graduate school, so I didn't think that was going to be able to fit into a busy new mom schedule, that requires somewhere between 60 and 80 hours a week, and that wasn't going to happen. At the time, I was working. I took a sabbatical for a period of time to really figure out what my next big step was to be. And then, unfortunately, my dad got sick and eventually passed away. He had a sudden heart attack and leaving my mom a widow. So I was able to kind of step in and help her with her finances during that time. And kind of the light bulb went off is that there may be other people or other women in a similar situation like my mom that may not have had the assistance to really move them forward financially. So in 2002, I hung out my shingle to start Jackson Sam's Wealth Strategies, really focused on, like I said, financial wellness for women.
Oh, wow. And see, I always ask a little bit of backstory because there's always a reason why we typically navigate to another space. And I thank you for even sharing that because I was taking some notes over here. And so those who are listening, you may be thinking, I have all of these challenges before me. And on to today, Pamela said, look, I had this going on. My dad got sick and then a light bulb went off. And so as you're listening, a light bulb may go off in you like, you know what? Let me turn some pain into purpose that's going to not just impact my family, but impact other generations and other people in the communities, in your churches, in your workplaces, even start a business. I mean, whatever that may look like, there is hope. And so I just want you to share with us some things as we know so much is going on around us, right? And you all who follow us and listen, you know that we love the Lord and all of the things, but He's provided resources, tangible resources, and partnering those with practical, spiritual, the Bible and different things, practical tips, practical strategies, but we have to do some work. And so what does that look like? What advice would you give people who are thinking to themselves, how am I going to make this dollar stretch? How can I make this multiply? What can I be doing to prepare for my children, for generations? How can I financially proof myself even in the economical status of where we are now?
Yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but all is not lost. Like you said, and hope is really to sit down. I always tell people you really need to know what's going on in your financial life, what's coming in, what's going out, and then taking an assessment of, if you need to go bare bones, if I just need to survive, what type of things do I need? You need shelter, you need food, you need things like that. Everything else will be secondary. The cell phone. I know people like the cell phone, but maybe you can do something a little bit cheaper, a track phone, a Cricket, whatever, to minimize as much as you can in your expenses. I know all these streaming services and subscriptions and all of those things. Maybe you have to put those to a side for a little bit while you recover, but you need to know what's going on in your household, devise a budget on the things that you can afford during the time period where you may not have all of the resources that you used to have, that you need to go kind of bare bones for a minute for that. You always definitely want to make sure you have enough cash reserved if you do, even if it's, $100 somewhere stuck in a shoe box or in a bag or wherever, have a little bit of extra cash as well. But it really starts with taking an assessment, know how you're operating in your household, and see where you can cut or reduce or eliminate out of your budget.
Wow, I love that. And you see my head down because your girl is taking notes, okay? And taking a financial assessment. And I think a lot of times, because we are always swiping, right?
Yep.
Always swiping. You have your cards on file with, Google, Apple Pay, all of these different ways of just to pay for things that, or those subscriptions, right? I have talked to some women. They're like, I have subscriptions, let me talk today, right? That I'm not even using.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you all, because I am transparent, I was that person one time utilizing things. Well, I wasn't even really utilizing them. I utilized them for a period. And then they did not serve me anymore. But it wasn't until one day I was going through doing a financial assessment. And I was just like, what is this coming out for? I don't even use this anymore. And you all, I put more money back into my account, canceling those subscriptions. I'm talking about, I don't even care if it's $10 or $15. You're talking about $10 or $15 a month. Or if you're like me, some of them you paid for the year, right?
Yeah.
Had on automatic renewal. So you can only imagine.
Yeah.
So you all, if you don't do anything else on today, go take a financial assessment of your finances and those subscriptions. I don't think you need Disney Plus, Hulu, Peacock. You don't need all of them. How much TV are you really watching that you need all of these things, right? We really don't. So I love that you said, take a financial assessment, see what's going in and out, see what you're working with, right? And see things that's not even serving you and your family any longer.
That's correct. I mean, I know, especially with a lot of these streaming services, you buy it for one show or a season or whatever because your favorite show is on there, and then the next thing you know, that goes off, and like you said, it just keeps auto renewing every month or every year, and you're not even realizing that. I use Rocket Money. I'm not, going to put a plug in, but it does automatic helping you find those subscriptions that you have, and then helping you really delete those or unsubscribe if you need to. So it's an easy app that you can use and really kind of takes that assessment for you. I know every year, at the end of every year, what I do with me and my husband, we kind of go through that process. And girl, last year I found maybe $150 of just junk that I just wasn't using anymore or don't need, and then was able to free up a little bit of cash flow that way. So do it. I do. I encourage my clients to do what I call a financial date night. That's kind of the time where you would do a financial assessment or a state of the union, so to speak, in your household. It could be every 2 weeks, it could be monthly. But between you, if you have a partner, kind of go down and saying, okay, what happened this month in terms of our finances, especially now with what's going on economically? Are there things that we can, what does our grocery bill look like? Do we need to be shopping at this particular store? Maybe we can buy some items there, or maybe we can buy some items in bulk at, like a Sam's or Costco or something like that. So you need to take an assessment monthly, especially now, really to kind of tighten the belt up.
Yes, and I love that. I was having a conversation last night with someone, and they were just like, even when you know you have the funds, we can always tighten up. And so to hear that on today, you all, that might be your word on today, tighten up. Okay. We're not telling you not to live life. We're not telling you not to go on your amazing vacations, live. But a great way to do that is taking that financial assessment. I love the financial date night because it seems like sometimes when people get ready to talk about finances, right, people get nervous. Y'all know how they ask for the offering in church and people start fidgeting and walking out. People do that in their own household, yeah. Right? It's like fear of finances, right? Fear of talking about what we have, what we don't have. And then if you do have a partner, or if it is just you, be honest.
Yeah, that's what you have to do is really, I work with couples as well, and, I call it financial infidelity.
I love that.
You sneaking around buying shoes, he's sneaking around buying stuff. It's going to appear on somebody's credit card, and you're going to figure out, what the hell happened. So you need to be honest, and you need to, make sure everybody's privy to the same data, and not hiding these things. The financial infidelity definitely creeps in. If that is the case, maybe you have a certain budget for each. You have your fund money, I have my fund money, and we don't question what goes on in that. But the joint household expenses, things like that, we do have to agree if it's over a certain a dollar amount on what comes out of that. But no sneaking around. Really make sure that you are open and honest in terms of your spending.
I love that. Quit cheating with the money, okay?
Exactly.
With the money. I love that. And so you all will be wrapping up shortly. And that, I feel like we're just getting started and warmed up in the conversation. But when we think of making sure you have cash reserve, and I was just telling someone the other day, I said, I need to have some cash stashed in the house, right? Especially with all of the things that could potentially happen with, we've seen things be shut down, ATM machines can't grab, can't get, or whatever the case may be. And so I'm glad that you said that. You all make sure you check out Rocket Money as well. Take that financial assessment. And Pamela, give us maybe a last tip and some last words when it comes to our financial wellness, even moving forward from we did the assessment, we got some reserve, and for the future.
I kind of work with what I call the matrix of financial wellness, and I'm going to do it real quick because we have limited time. But once you kind of get your budget and your cash flow together, that's kind of quadrant 1. Quadrant 2 really works on your protection needs. Do you have enough insurance? Do you have enough life insurance, homeowner insurance, disability? What do your benefits look like through work in terms of your protection? Because if something happens and you don't have the proper protection, that can be costly as well. So making sure you have enough adequate protection. The third quadrant is all about saving for the future. So it could be saving for a new home, down payment. It could be saving for college for kids. It could be saving for retirement. But what are you investing in, and how are your money growing in that quadrant? And then the fourth quadrant, the last one, wraps it all up tidy in a nice bow, is your legacy plan. So you don't want to leave a messy situation to your beneficiaries. So making sure you have either a will, a trust, power of attorney, your healthcare directive. But you don't want to put people in a situation where they have to make these decisions for you. You have it outlined in a nice document and an estate plan. So kind of those 4 quadrants really kind of looks at how your overall financial wellness is in play. But if you need to focus on each one of those at a time, definitely feel free to do that. But really focus on quadrant 3, because that's kind of how you're going to grow your wealth generationally.
Wow, you all, I love that budget protection, saving for the future, and your legacy plan. And I know in our generation, a lot of times our parents, they did not have this information. They did not have so many things accessible to them and different things, but you all, we're changing the game. And that's why Miss Pamela joined us on today on Healthy Chats. And we're talking about your financial wellness and getting a plan. It starts at the kitchen table and then it can expound out. Make sure you do a financial assessment, get a budget. Don't have any financial infidelity, okay? Quit cheating with the money. And then making sure you're protected. What does that look like? Saving for the future, if that's your home, new car, whatever that looks like for you and your family. But have these conversations. And even with the protection, protection insurance and all of these things, you all, is very important. My husband and I, we were just talking about, because it was just on my mind, like, hey, if something happened to me and you together, where does that put our children? Do they know what to do? Do they know who to call? Do they know where to the information for insurance policies and all of these different things? Making it's not the easiest transition. And you all, I know in our community, sometimes we don't like to talk about the protection part. That's what we're going to call it, okay? The protection part, but it is so vital. So Miss Pamela, we're definitely going to have you come back, because all of this is important. Look, y'all, we could do a whole series with Miss Pamela, okay, for each quadrant. But you know what? You all need to connect with her so that we can dive deeper. And we would definitely have her back, because I definitely would love for you to give us some tips in the protection space. Because like I said, I know within our communities, a lot of times, those conversations are not being had like they need to be, and people are not prepared. I'm not knocking anyone who may have a GoFundMe or anything, but you can prepare, because the reality of it is none of us know when. Right? We don't have we don't know the specific date and time and place and all of these things, but how can we prepare? And that is getting a line of protection. And so, Ms. Pamela, let everyone know how they can connect with you, resources, how they can even reach out to you to work with you.
Yeah, so I am on social media, Facebook and Instagram, at Jackson Sams Wealth. That's the best place to find me. If anybody's on LinkedIn, I'm under Pamela J. Sams. You'll be able to find me there. My website is jacksonsams.com. Wealth of information on the things that I just explained and talked about, little vignettes, little videos to learn a little bit more as well. On there is also a form to fill out that you could schedule a complimentary consultation if you want to learn more and explore how to work with my services.
I love that. So you all, if you're on our email list, then you will get these links and this information. If you're not, then you can go to www.insoinc.org, get on our email list, because we will email this information out to you as well. We want you to have your Bible and your word, and God has blessed us with people who know, and they're expert, and he has given them this gift and given them this mission and assignment to be a resource to us, our children, and our communities. And so look, even within the churches, you all need a Pamela Sams to come in, do a workshop, do something, because look, ain't no need to keep running around that church and you broke, okay? And your family is not protected. I'm just saying. And so y'all don't inbox me either, okay? I said what I said because we see it even in the church. And if we're saying things are in the kingdom, then financial wealth and wellness is part of the kingdom as well. So Pamela, thank you so much for joining us on Healthy Chats. I will be reaching out to you to have you back. Probably even for that protection piece can go for one of our menopause monthly meetups that are virtually as well. Because look, ladies, we need our financial wellness, and quit spending all that money on all of those products, right? That you ain't even using in the cabinet anymore. So I say thank you again. I appreciate your time, and you will get this information in an email. But look, go to Mogul Media TV, and then you will also be able to watch these episodes of Healthy Chats on Rise and Energize Her. So take care, be blessed, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.